too with the afro. All right, so I'm gonna do the story time for my military peoples because you guys respond to my videos and I like it. So I am going to share a story of what happened when I was 20 years old and I was in Darmstadt, Germany. And this story is going to have a religious, not a religious, but a godly, you know. Okay, so I was a new Christian man. You know what I'm saying? New Christian. Well, was I? Always believed in God. No, I wasn't. But I was I just became an adult. I started off in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and that's where I did my basic in AIT. And then they sent me to Darmstadt, Germany. So when they sent me to Germany, I was there with young soldiers just like myself, and I had two roommates. And then there was the guys who lived next door to me. They were also they were cooks, so we were all cooks, right? So we were all cooks. Anyways, there was this. So we were in Cambrai, Fritz. It was the name of our concern, which is a base. And there was this chick named Pam, who was a black girl, right? So Pam basically was, she was a wild hair afro wearing, very loud and contentious, pretty much obnoxious. What's going on? She was pretty obnoxious. She had a great body. She was just okay looking. But the thing about Pam was, giving out the cookies. And if, you're lonely over there in the soldier, for one, the men outnumber women over there in Germany like 20-1. So you're ready to knock off anything if you're looking for some. But Pam was not a bad looking woman. But basically what she did was she worked for the AIG, or for the AG, sorry, the Adjutant General. So she would walk around just be loud and obnoxious because nobody was going to say anything to her because we all knew she worked for, Mr. Big Time. He was a 2-star general. So you can badmouth her if you want to, but she's going to go tell her boss, and her boss is going to come at you. Because one thing about Pam is she was really, really good at her job. And everyone knew it. She was very good at organizing. She was just really great at what she did. She was really good. But she was, out there. And she was single. She wasn't married or anything. So nobody said anything. It's not against the rules. But she would walk around with her hands in her pockets, and you're not allowed to do that when you're in BDUs. And she would just go from one room to another with all the guys and do whatever with them. Well, one day, my buddies, Tone, got that got a little techno going. Yeah, a little techno. I didn't think y'all heard that. A little techno. A little song. I like to switch the music up. But so one day, my roommate, smashing the homies. Yeah, she was smashing the homies, right? So this one dude, who was not my roommate, but I worked with him, and then one of my roommates decided to go ahead and get with her, and they were in his room. Well, I was a praying man, so I wasn't really trying to smash or anything, but you know what it was, what I'm saying. So I spent a lot of time by myself, and one day I got this really uneasy feeling, and I was just sitting in my room by myself, and I went and I knocked on their door, and I just kept knocking because I knew they were in there screwing her. And I was just knocking and knocking, and I was like, calling their name and knocking. I wasn't yelling. I just kept knocking. I kept annoying them until they finally came to the door. And the one dude was like, yo, you nosy. Like, he was upset because he was you know, they was over there doing their thing. And I was like, yo, you need to stop. I'm just telling you now, something's right, something ain't right. You need to stop. But they was like, yo, you a nosy dude, like whatever. You messing it up for us. Nah, Tone did not want none of Pam. Tone didn't want none of Pam. Not one bit. Not one bit of Pam. Not one bit. I've never looked at her like, yeah, I thought she had a dope body, but I didn't want any. It was just something about how loud and stupid she was. I was like, nah, I'm good. So anyways, I'm interrupting their night, and when they got upset at me, I went back into my room, sat by myself and listened to my Christian music, and I was cool, you know what I'm saying? And then about a week later, this same girl, oh yeah, she was black, big old afro, great body, great, she had a smashing body, bro. She was on point as far as her body was concerned. And she wasn't bad looking. She was just out there. So one day, like when you first come over to Camp Brad Fritz, the first person you're gonna meet when you start going out on your own into the economy is the dude who's right outside the gate. There's a restaurant there because we close at 6. The chow hall closes at 6. So you can't get any food from us, and then the PX closes. So people will go and get a beer and a hot dog from the little eatery right outside the gate. And the dude who was in there was an 18-year-old French dude. He was from France, but he living in Germany. And he was like, hey, hello, and he was just a very happy-go-lucky dude. Just a really cool guy to talk to. So you would go there and get your little food on, right? Well, about a week later, Pam decided to go and visit this guy. Turns out that he lived like 3 doors down, you know what I'm saying? And she was, knocking boots with the dude and must have got upset at him in an argument about something, and she slit his throat from ear to ear. She cut him wide open and then crawled out his window and then came back on to the base like nothing was going on. And when she came into the base, she lived the floor above me in the same barracks. And when she came into the base, she went up into her room and she told her roommate, who was this real dizzy blonde, I just killed someone. And the blonde was like, I don't believe you. But the blonde was smart enough to go and tell the CQ. So she went downstairs, told the CQ, and the CQ was not playing with that at all. We're in Germany, okay? Anything can happen. People die over there all the time from soldiers. So he rings the alarm, calls the MPs. The MPs go upstairs and they arrest her. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, we don't know anything that's going on. Me, my buddies, the guys I work with, we don't know what's going on until the next freaking day. Yeah, the next freaking day finds out that they strip her of her rank completely. Strip her of all her rank. She was an E4. They strip her of her rank. Then they go ahead and they didn't put her in jail. But when the German officials found out, Germany was like, we want her. Like she killed a German citizen in Germany. She belongs to us. And the military was like, she belongs to the U.S. military. Like, we not going there. Yeah, she killed somebody on your turf and she's going to pay the penance, but she is still U.S. military property. You got to understand that when you sign that dotted line, you are the property of the U.S. military. That's why when people go AWOL, they're in big, big trouble. That's a federal crime. But nonetheless, so she committed a federal crime, in killing, this German citizen who was only 18 years old, and I knew dude. I knew him. And so I saw her the next day, it went all around the barracks, it didn't take long for it to travel. And when I was listening, I saw her and I walked up to her and I just looked at her and I said, say it isn't true. And she just looked at me and then just, walked away from me. And I was like, And I mean, she was quiet. She wasn't saying nothing to nobody. All that yelling and screaming she used to do, all that is gone away. It was all over, bro. And, of course, when I left, I never seen her again. But I don't know what happened to her. But it is a true story, Yeah, it's a true story. But it really did happen. I don't know what her last name was. I wish I did, because you guys could go ahead and look it up. But all I know is her first name was Pam. I know she was a black woman. And if you look up Darmstadt, Germany, hell, you might be able to find the whole incident. Let's see what you're saying. Moral? Oh, what's the moral of the story? Well, anyway, so my buddies who were over there, knocking boots with her, they approached me. Is the one who came to the door and fussed at me. He approached me and he said, "Thank you." Like, we had no idea like what was going on. He said, I just want to thank you. And it was hard for him to thank me because he was the drinking, smoking, partying, getting all the women. And he was a very prideful dude. His name was Jimmy. He's a very prideful dude. Me and him didn't exactly get along to the best, but we got along. You know what I mean? We didn't hate each other, but we weren't exactly friends. He was always challenging me in some kind of weird way. Because he had a lot of women and all this other stuff, and he's from Detroit. But he was still a cool dude. But he had to humble himself and come to me and said thank you. And it wasn't really me. It was just the Lord. He just told me to go over there and annoy the hell out of them and make them stop doing what they're doing. I had a feeling of what they're doing, but it wasn't my business. But that's the only time I jumped into somebody's business, because God was telling them, look, this girl is about to take somebody off the planet and you don't want to be a part of it. And it turns out that she was in the drugs real heavy, and that's what happened. And the little 18-year-old dude, they said that he was a drug dealer. So the whole thing just blew up. Like, wait, what? How did that happen? And when they said that she was on drugs when she did it, everything made sense. Like how promiscuous she was, how loud she was, just how much of a crazed person she was. It's like, why is she so nuts? It's because she was on some, I don't know what she was on, but you can just tell every day she'd come down the hall screaming, ah, blah, blah. And everybody knew it was Pam, but nobody would say anything because of who she worked for. And it was their undoing. Made the company look bad because we were in a foreign land. And I guess the moral of the story is, just, I don't know, don't do drugs. I don't know what to tell you. But I like to share these Army stories for people who are going into the military and or into the military. And because going into the military makes you feel that there's some type of, you're safe. We all got guns. We're all a bunch of badasses. Could be no further from the truth. You actually just walked into the lion's den. We're all a bunch of badasses, and it goes down, So, and as you can see, Fort Hood right now has had, 4 or 5 murders of soldiers killing soldiers. Yeah, men and women. So it is, I don't know, it's just a place to really be careful because anything can happen, and it does. So yeah, it's just a story I wanted to tell. No big deal. I don't know what happened to her. I don't even know how to look up. Maybe I could look up the story. But I was always interested in what did happen to this girl. And it was a shock that it was a black woman too.
Don't like cartoon characters.
It was just a shock, like, what? like an African American woman did this? Like, can somebody explain how this happened? But she killed that boy. She cut him wide open. I'm gonna try to look up the story. Can't find the webpage. You can't find a webpage to what? Mike. I know. I don't know her full name. So I'm trying to look up. It was about 1989. U.S. Army gets life. No. Germany court sentence son. I'm trying to look it up now. Germany seeks against teens. No. Fall of Berlin. Independence of the American soldier in Darmstadt. Alleged Germany seeks charges against 3 U.S. teens in rock attack. No, that's not it. Murder. Teacher. From the wrath of research. Was it 89? Let me put 90 here. U.S. soldier gets life. Right, no, that's not her. I don't know what they did. Maybe they just hid it. Mass murder in their process. I think they just hid it. The German prison, maybe Frankfurt, Syria. Army crimes. Oh, you're looking. Huh. I'm gonna tell you something. The guy who was my roommate, who was actually in the throes of passion with her, I found him. He doesn't, he lives about 2 hours from me actually, same state. And I talked to him only once. I was like, you remember me? He's like, yeah, I remember you. And I was like, do you remember Pam? And he was like, I don't remember her. And I was like, now mind you, he went over to, he actually went to war. I didn't. I was like, you don't remember her? And also he had a baby. Well, he got another girl pregnant and she lost the baby and they broke up. So I didn't want to mention that to him, like, because I went through that with him, you know what I'm saying? And, because I watched him, he was excited about the baby and then he lost the baby. So, being his roommate, I was cool with it. But when he said he didn't remember Pam, I was like, how am I the only person that remembers Pam, but you don't? And I was like, I'm not crazy. I can't find it. Ex-soldier who killed woman and release. One of these days I'm gonna actually find it too. I'm gonna have to because I know I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not crazy. And this girl she was off the chain. And I could, there could have been some dead homies. They would have kept messing with her. She's messing with the white dude too. Like she was just messing with everyone. Heck, I wouldn't doubt if she was knocking off some of them sergeants too. That's why they wouldn't mess with her. Not even the captain said anything to her. Like nobody said anything to her. I always thought that was weird. Like, say anything to her. Wish I knew her last name. This would make it so easy. I might have to call Germany. I know they got record of it. AP, Associated Press. Yeah, the AP doesn't have it. I don't know who would have it. The honor Lord paid 70 hours to extend the United States military conjunction with the Act Bill. I don't know who has it. I think you guys are just here for the music now, huh? Yeah, I don't know who. I don't know who has a story. I gotta find it. Yeah, I think she. I like that bass verse. So what I think happened is, I think the military saved her life, actually, and because once they found out that he was also, you know, a drug actual dealer, they probably found out that he was dealing to all kind of people that were right there on the base. Um, and I would see this guy all the time. I would walk down to the base or walk out of the base and go get a hot dog or a soda and whatever. And that guy would be right there. He'd be the only person who served you. So it just like you weren't surprised to see him because he was the only guy there. You know what I'm saying? Like you never saw anybody else serve you. Uh, to my understanding, he could have been the owner. But he was a very young dude, had an accent, everything, very happy-go-lucky. But I mean, under all of the happy-go-luckiness, this dude was doing some shady stuff, and he paid for it. So that's what I think happened. I think that they probably found some ruling where this guy, was doing more harm than good, and once they probably, once Jag got a hold of it or whoever the lawyers are and found out who this guy was, they were like, this guy was doing a lot of damage, and probably gave her, of course they gave her an Article 15. They, when I saw her, she wasn't in jail. You know what I mean? But I thought she was, the whole conversation about her once everything came to light between us was whose jurisdiction did she fall up under? And we knew as far as soldiers living in a foreign land, we knew that if she is in a German prison, that she probably wasn't going to make it. Like that was just a no go, and the military thought the same thing, as far as I know, and they were like, we not we not doing that. And this was no ordinary soldier. So this wasn't like me. If it would happen to me, they would have probably let, yeah, go ahead, take him. You worked for the adjutant general. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to let, even though you're our allies, we're not going to let that go. Oh, but no, see, y'all not getting that. We'll punish her, but y'all not going to get her. We not giving her to you. You can forget that, Budinsky. She worked for the AG. Clipping though. Clip. I like that sound. You would think that's a sample, but it isn't. That's not a sample. My bad. All right, did I lose it?